Hello and good morning, students. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome to the world of digital teaching. We will be starting with chapter 2 of entrepreneurship. We will discuss the following topics in this chapter: definition of the forms of business organization, various forms of business organization, and their relative merits and demerits. Along with them, we will also discuss about the features of various forms of business organization. Students, there are 5 forms of business organization. These are sole proprietorship, partnership, joint Hindu family, joint stock company, and cooperative organization. Let's begin with first form of business organization, which is sole proprietorship. Dear students, sole proprietorship is a combination of two words, that is sole and proprietor. Sole means single and proprietor means owner. So, sole proprietorship is a business where there is a single owner. It is actually nothing but a one man show. Now, our next topic is merits of sole proprietorship. The very first merit of sole proprietorship is no sharing of profits. In sole proprietorship, all the profits of the firm are shared by one person only. There is no other person with whom he can share his profits, as all the hard work is done by that single person only. Number 2. Starting and closure of business at his own will. There are no legal formalities which a sole proprietor has to comply with. He can start his business as well as put an end to it at his own discretion. Third point is quick decision making. As sole proprietor alone has to take decisions and there is no one else with whom he can consult, so he can take them quickly. Next is no intervention in business. In a sole proprietor, as all the decisions are taken by one person only, so there is no one who can intervene in his business. Next is demerits of sole proprietorship. Dear students, you know very well that where there are roses, there are thorns as well. So, if there are merits of sole proprietorship, there will be some demerits also. Let us discuss those demerits one by one. Number 1 is lack of continuity. If a sole proprietor dies or remains ill due to some ailment, in that case he is left with no other alternative than to shut his business. Next is unlimited liability. Liability of a sole proprietor is unlimited. There is no one who can share the risk of his business. Next is lack of financial resources. He has to do the business with whatever financial resources he is having. Number 4 is lack of managerial skills. A sole proprietor has to do his business with whatever knowledge and skills he possesses. And finally, the last demerit is no sharing of losses. If in a sole proprietor there is no one who can share profit with the sole proprietor, similarly there is no one who can share losses with him. Whatever the loss he suffers in the business, he has to bear all alone. Dear students, here I want to share one thing with you, that if suppose a question of features of sole proprietorship do come in an exam, then in that case we don't have to do that question separately. When features come, it means you can select some points of merits of sole proprietorship as well as some points from demerits of sole proprietorship. 2 or 3 points you can take from the merits and 2 or 3 points you can take from the demerits. So, in a nutshell, you don't have to do this question separately. You have to combine the question of merits and demerits from it. Now, our second form of business organization is partnership. In partnership, we will discuss about what actually partnership is, then what is partnership deed, contents of partnership deed, types of partners. Now, first of all is partnership. If we have to define partnership, then we can say in simple terms, a partnership is an agreement between two or more partners or two or more persons rather who have agreed to carry out their profits and losses either equally or in a specified ratio as mentioned in partnership deed. Now, what is partnership deed? A partnership deed is also an agreement like a partnership where all the rules and regulations to carry out the business activities are mentioned. Some of the contents of partnership deed are name of the partnership firm, name of the partners, address of partners and partnership firm, interest on capital, interest on drawings, profit sharing ratio, registration of firm. Now, our next topic is kinds of partnership. Dear students, there are basically two types of partnership. One is limited partnership and another one is unlimited partnership. Now, what is limited partnership? Limited partnership is one which is meant for a specific time period or for a specific project. It automatically comes to an end after the expiry of its tenure or after the completion of the project. We don't have to do any extra formalities for winding up this kind of partnership. Next is our unlimited partnership. Unlimited partnership is not time bound. It comes to an end only through the mutual understanding of the partners. For example, on the death of the partner or on the retirement of the partners. If the partners want to continue with this partnership even after the death or retirement of the partner, they can continue it. If they don't wish to do it, then they may discontinue this unlimited partnership. Our next topic is types of partners. Though there are many types of partners are given but in CBSE's syllabus as per our latest curriculum, there are three types of partners which we need to study, and those are active partner, sleeping partner, and secret partner. An active partner is one who takes active participation in all the activities of the business. On the other hand, sleeping partner is the one who just contributes capital and shares profits and losses. Such partner is least bothered about the activities of the business, and that's why he is known as a sleeping one. Next is secret partner. A secret partner is one whose identity is not disclosed to the outsiders. Though he brings capital and he also shares profits and losses, he can also act on behalf of the company, and the most important thing is that he can be held accountable for his acts to the outsiders. If any sort of liability do occur on behalf of the company, then the company cannot escape by merely saying that this partner is our secret partner or his identity is not disclosed to the outsiders. Means to say, the company will be liable for all the acts which he will do. So, with this, our second form of business organization, partnership, comes to an end. Our next form of organization is joint Hindu family. In joint Hindu family, we will study about what actually is joint Hindu family, who are co-partners, what are the relative merits and demerits of this form of business organization, as well as its features. Now let's begin with the definition of joint Hindu family. Joint Hindu family is also known as Hindu undivided family. It is basically a family business where every member becomes a member of business by birth, including minor. But one thing here to be noted is that daughters of the family are not considered as the members of the business. This is the only form of business organization where minor is also a member of the business. The eldest member of the family is known as Karta, while other members of the family are known as co-partners. Now, the next topic is co-partners, which we have already discussed in the definition itself. So, the in joint Hindu family business, the eldest member of the family is known as Karta. He is the one who takes all decisions relating to the business of the family, while the other members of the family are known as co-partners. So, two things are clear in this. One is the head member of the family is known as Karta, while the other members of the family are known as co-partners. Merits of joint Hindu family. Some of the merits of Hindu undivided family are: number 1, quick decision making. As all the decisions are taken by Karta himself, though maybe sometimes with the consultation of his co-partners, generally it takes less time to make decisions if we compare with partnership or joint stock company. Then next point is limited liability of co-partners. Accepting Karta, the liability of the members of HUF is limited. Next point is sharing of profits and losses. Unlike sole proprietorship, all the profits and losses of JHF is shared among the members of the family. Karta alone will not earn the entire profits. He has to share with his members of the family as well. Minor, a member of the business. Joint Hindu family is the only form of business organization where minor is also considered as member of the business. Continuity of business. Unlike sole proprietorship, the death of Karta does not mean the closure of business. The important thing here is, the interesting thing you can say, once the Karta dies, the next eldest member of the family becomes Karta without affecting the continuity of the business. This is one of the biggest merit of joint Hindu family which sole proprietor does not enjoy. Hope the merits of joint Hindu family are clear to all of you. Then next is demerits of Hindu undivided family. Number 1 is sharing of profits and losses. Unlike sole proprietorship, the profits are not shared by one person alone. Rather, it is shared among all the members of the family, including minor. Next, unlimited liability of Karta. The liability of Karta is always unlimited. He has to meet the debts of the business himself, though he can take the help of his co-partners in this. Third point is limited financial resources. Joint Hindu family generally suffers from financial resources, as there are always limited resources from where it can be arranged. Lack of managerial skills. In this form of business organization, the responsibility of managing business lies on the shoulders of Karta alone. With this, our topic of joint Hindu family comes to an end. Hope all the points relating to merits, demerits, features, as well as co-partners, Karta, everything, these points will be clear to you. Now, our most important form of business organization is joint stock company. Dear student, here in this topic we will study again what actually company is, what are its various characteristics, how many forms of companies are there, and the most important question from examination point of view is stages in the formation of company. Now, what joint stock company is? A company is an artificial person created by law having separate legal entity with a perpetual succession that works with the help of a common seal named rubber stamp. Now, first of all, this term artificial person must be clear to you. Artificial person is nothing but artificial person is nothing. It means simply it cannot work by itself. A company is just a building in itself. A company works on behalf of its members. Then, second characteristics of company is created by law. A company is the creation of law. A company must get itself registered under Companies Act 1956 before it gets a certificate of commencement of business. This point of registration is very important here because in previous forms of business organizations like sole proprietor, partnership, joint Hindu family, this registration point is not there in all these forms of organization. They may start their business without their registration. It may be sole proprietorship, it may be joint Hindu family, it may be partnership. But this point of registration is very essential as far as joint stock company is concerned because a company cannot get a certificate of commencement of business without this certificate of registration, and a company has to get itself registered under Companies Act 1956. Next point is separation of ownership and management. When we talk about sole proprietorship, the owner and the management is done by the same person. When we talk about partnership, the ownership and management also lies in the same hands. Same is the case with joint Hindu family. But here in joint stock company, there is a separation of ownership and management. The management is done by some other persons while its ownership is controlled by some others. Here one more question arises here that who are the actual owners of the company? The shareholders are the real owners of the company. Next characteristics is perpetual succession. Members may come, members may go, but company goes on forever. Even though all the members of the company die due to some natural calamity, still its continuity is least affected. So members may come, they may go, but company goes on forever. It is a continuous process. Then last and main characteristics of company is common seal. A company is an artificial person. It cannot work by itself. Therefore, it works with the help of a common seal named rubber stamp. Then various forms of companies. Dear students, there are two forms of companies. One is public limited company and another one is private limited company. A public limited company, before explaining the forms of company, I will like to explain these forms of company in a tabular form. So first, if we talk about public limited company, a public limited company must end with the word limited, whereas private limited company must end with the word private limited. Secondly, the minimum number of members which are required to form a public limited company is 7, while there is no limit on maximum number of members. On the other hand, the minimum number of members required to form a private limited company is 2, while the maximum number of members should not be more than 50. Number 3. The minimum number of directors required to form a public limited company is 3. The minimum number of directors which are required to form a private limited company is 2. A public limited company can float its shares in the market to collect funds from the public, but this privilege is not available to a private limited company. It cannot collect the public deposits for its finance. Then another main point is that the minimum paid up share capital in a private limited company is 1 lakh, whereas the minimum paid up share capital in a public limited company is 5 lakh. So these are few points of differences between private limited company and public limited company. Our next topic is stages in the formation of the company. Dear students, this question is very important from examination point of view. The formation of the company is basically divided into four stages. These are promotion of the company, incorporation of the company, capital subscription, commencement of business. Now, when we talk about promotion, it is the first stage in the formation of the company. Here, the promoters, who are also known as parents of the company, seize an opportunity for starting a company. Promoter is the one who makes all the arrangements for establishing a company. Then, next stage is incorporation of the company. Incorporation is the stage when the company actually comes into existence. If we call it as a birthday of the company, it will not be wrong. So, incorporation of the company is the date when the company is born. Next stage is capital subscription. Every company needs funds to start its business. In capital subscription, company floats its shares in the market to raise funds from the public. And last but not the least, commencement of business. This is the last stage in the formation of the company where company gets the certificate of commencement that entitles the company to start its business operation. There is a difference between incorporation and commencement of business. Incorporation is the stage when company actually comes into existence. But in that stage, it cannot start its business activities. It can start its business activities only and only when it gets a certificate of commencement of business. So, with this, our second chapter, Forms of Business Organization, is complete. Hope each and every point will be clear to you all. Moreover, you are free and call me anytime to satisfy your queries. So, thank you very much, students. Have a nice day.